Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we have something special for you today. We are at the Grand Design booth in Elkhart, Indiana, looking at their newest series of motorhomes. This is the Lineage Series F. This is built on an F600 Ford Super Duty chassis 4x4. So this is a Super C, and let me tell you, it is a super product. I'm super impressed. Just walked several units and really impressed at some of the different things that they're doing. So first of all, let's start outside and look at some of the storage compartments so you can get an idea of what the space is like. Now, first thing you'll notice is the LED lights that are set just under this belt rail here. When you look at the storage, it's a little dark today, but you can see nice large bins, rotocast, super clean. And if you look right here, there's actually a drain port. So if these get dirty, rinse them out, open up the drain port, drain them out. Now they are pass-through. Back here, you have a nice large pass-through, and it looks like we're, ballpark about 18 inches of clearance to get your gear all the way through. Now they're using blacked out rims, which is really nice. We have an exterior entertainment, which I'm going to leave closed because it's pouring rain. Here's a perfect example of something that's being done a little bit different, that a couple of manufacturers are doing, but not many. Your water tank is here. You can visually see the level of your water tank, and the drain is a larger drain. So when it comes time to sanitize, easier, faster to sanitize across the board. Right here we have a bit of storage, and that just gives you a nice place to put some extra gear. Now let's go take a walk inside and take a look at some of the unique features. Now, on a unit like this, Grand Design has said that there's really only 3 options available. One is going to be leather on your driver's and passenger seat and in the rest of the coach. If you choose not to option in the leather, then it's just going to be a vinyl fabric itself. The second option, I'm going to walk you back there and we'll look at it, is the ability to option in a washer dryer. Now, if you don't do the washer dryer, you're going to get what you see in this coach, adjustable shelves. So that's a second option. And then the other option is you pick your paint color for your exterior. So let's walk back up front and take a look at a couple of features. So this is built on a Ford chassis, F600 as I said. So you have your Ford steering wheel up here, your standard media. That's pretty traditional with the Super Duty. But you get upgraded seats that Grand Design does. This is the leather package, and then what they do, which I thought was a great little feature, is a headrest vault. So you can see right here, this is a little vault that you can actually put gear in, put your wallet, your passport, etc. Close that up, close up your headrest, and no one would even know that it's there. Somebody is really thinking. Now they're using a bigger bed up in the cab area, and I do like the front window to let the natural light in with a power shade on it. Now, a couple of things different as we're panning over to this slide. This is a 40-inch deep slide, and the slide in the bedroom is 32 inches, a little bit deeper than the industry has been using. You have home theater seats here. Again, this is the upgraded leather in the gray. The dinette has the upgraded leather as well, because that's all part of one package. Now, in a few other videos, I always like to say, look at the width of your table. So what I'm going to do is take the 2 plates, and you're going to notice it's a decent width table because you can get 2 full plates front to back on each other, giving you that space. Also, when you look at your space of your dinette, there's a good seating area overall. So Grand Design has sourced these windows. They're acrylic windows, but they have been sourced from Europe. And the wallboard here has been sourced from Europe as well. They did that because they were looking for a specific quality of window, quality of wallboard that they wanted to use that was different than what was being used in North America and at a higher quality level. Just as I mentioned, I mentioned in another video, so I'll point it out here, just as they did the gray ceiling. It's a soft touch vinyl, but they've done it in the gray where traditionally it's always been done in white. So it's a little bit different. It softens the look of the coach and actually makes it look a little more luxurious. Also, little things like instead of using the traditional round air conditioning vents, they've gone with a rectangular. Looks a little sleeker, a little more modern. So it's just some of this thinking that they're implementing in the unit itself. Now, you know me, I'm going to point out some items. So let's take a look storage-wise. You know, nice deep, whoa, still going. That is one of the deepest bins I have seen so far doing these videos this year. So that's a nice deep bin overall. Up top, you'll notice they've kept the bank of cupboards, which is something that's been disappearing in a number of RVs. And it's a nice tug to open it up, which signals they're using heavy hinges. Again, in many videos, I've said you want to see residential style hinges. You can see how it holds up the door itself. The storage is nice and deep and long, all connected. And when you go to close, it's a soft close in this case. But when you go to tug, you're going to feel the weight of the hinges wanting to keep that door closed. Now let's take a look at a couple other features. Let's start in the kitchen area because this is a very important area. You have lots of drawers and doors here, but first let's start. They're starting with a thinner countertop. That's a solid surface, Corian, whatever you want to call it. That's what it is here, but they've gone with a thin countertop, keeps it looking, again, sleek and modern. We have the double stainless steel sink. It's nice and deep. The glass washer, 3-burner stove, the oven itself, convection microwave, and that's a residential size, so you can bake anything you like. And I do like, because I have this in my own RV, the convection microwave and the oven. Now, I don't have a convection, I use a convection oven. I like that there's both because I may be doing a lasagna down here and then I want to do something different in the convection oven, and that allows you to have more flexibility as you're camping. When we look at some of the drawers, again, we pop them open, solid wood. They're on European glides. Let's look at one of the deeper drawers. Little bit longer, this drawer. That just tells me the first drawer has some mechanicals behind it, whether it be electrical runs, etc. Again, solid wood. The depth down is nice and deep. Good length, European glides. When we look under the sink, we've got a great spot for pots and pans. And then next to it, we have another deep pots and pans drawer itself. Fridge, they're using a 3-door fridge. Let's pop it open and just take a look. So, nice size fridge. That looks about 10 cubic feet. And then they're using the drawer for the freezer. Pantry, nice deep pantries. Again, look at your hinges when you're shopping. Residential style hinges. But these have that little soft close feature, which is a nice touch. Also, the top, if you notice, it's lit. It responded to the opening of the cabinet door. Now, that's something a little bit different. I wasn't expecting that. I thought how do they fit a pantry in here? Well, they didn't. Here is the privacy curtain that comes across in case you have some guests. And traditionally, it would just hang out here. And what they've done is, just to give it a little more finishing, they've tucked it in a little cupboard that would have just been empty space, so it's hidden away and giving it a cleaner look. Now, I mentioned, I believe earlier in the video, here is where your washer dryer would go. It is an option in this coach, so if you don't option it, you get the adjustable shelves. Otherwise, you'd have your stacking washer dryer. Nice and deep. Again, turns on when you open up your doors. We'll close those. We'll spin around and we'll take a look at the bed. Now, this slide out is 32 inches deep. That is a nice deep slide out. Sometimes they're 30 inches, 26 inches. They're not as deep for the bed slides. Here they definitely are. You have 3 banks of drawers, the big windows on either side. And then for wardrobe, let's take a look. We have hanging, nice deep wardrobe overall. And then let's take a look, because here they were saying false cabinet door. That's kind of interesting. They have this here, deep drawer itself. So there's lots of storage. Our TV, I'll back up. TV's already mounted on the wall here. And let's look at the bathroom. Now, the bathroom is a good size. We've got porcelain toilet here they're using. Again, solid surface countertops, stainless steel sink. Let's peek underneath. Good storage underneath. Now, that's a little bit different. Steel braided lines that they're running here. That'll be curious to keep an eye out for. You know, and they've utilized the space wherever they can. Medicine cabinet, a little bit wider than what we've seen, very good for storage. They already have mounted the towel holders, so you don't have to, you know, figure out where are you going to put that. Now let's do our get out of the shower test. So if I pivot the camera down, you can step here. You could dry yourself from the shower right in front of the sink. You could also step further over between the sink and the toilet. There's really good room. I'm going to pivot around. And then here in the shower, they're using a slightly different pan, very modern style looking, and they've got a mat built in just so it's not as slippery, which is a nice touch. And I do like that they've mounted a shelf here rather than just keeping it in the corner. Now this material, I have seen this in a couple of RVs. It literally looks like a plasticized material to keep the water off instead of the plastic pans or the fiberglass pans. We also have the shower head here, very modern style, but I do like that you have one mounting point here and another mounting point here so that, well, let's step in and take a look. You know, here you could wash your face and then mount it up here and be able to, you know, rinse your hair off, etc. Also, something that's a little different that I haven't seen before, look at the LED light strips in here. So it really gives you lots of light on a dim overcast day like today, even though you have this skylight, but you can see looking through the skylight how gray and dim it is. Also lighting, multiple lighting. Here we've got our air conditioning vent as well, and then of course a vent with a fan. Large window as well. So they've set up that washroom really, really well. Now up top on the roof, they use a fiberglass roof. They're using special gaskets rather than using lap sealant and self-leveling sealant and silicone or different caulkings. They're actually using gaskets, so when the roof comes together, the different pieces, they squeeze down on gaskets that don't have to have the same maintenance that a lap sealant or a caulking will need. And the idea of that is to keep water out. In the RV industry, unfortunately, the number one non-maintenance item that people leave out that they shouldn't is the roof. And water is the greatest enemy to an RV. So if you don't do your roof maintenance on an annual and actually semi-annual basis, you should be checking it every few months, it can lead to leaks. By using these gaskets, they become compressed, which then creates a seal between the components of the roof, which works to keep that water out, but doesn't require the same maintenance that a caulk or a lap sealant's going to need. So it'll be interesting to see the longevity of that, but I have heard of one other manufacturer that's building winterized units using that same or similar system, I should say. Anyways, this is a look at their very first Super C built on the Ford F600 chassis. And you know, this Lineage Super C is a fantastic unit across the board. Really well equipped, super luxurious looking, and very modern. If you're in the market, you may want to check out Grand Design. I've been pretty impressed with what I'm seeing here. I hope the video has helped you. And please leave any comments down below. Please like and subscribe, and check back for more videos on some great Grand Design product as other great product from other manufacturers. Thanks everyone. See you back at the channel soon. Take care.